Hey, I'm Matt Cassel for the 33rd team. Our guest today was told by Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin that he will be a first-round draft pick. At just 20 years of age, Cameron Ward is currently lighting it up for the Washington State Cougars. Cameron, how are you, buddy? Happy to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing well. Just another day out here in Pullman. It's cold outside, but I'm getting used to it,
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
ready to go.
I love it. Well, let's start with your journey, man. Getting to where you are today. I know you played quarterback in high school, but the one thing about it is you played in a system that was the wing T. And for people that don't understand what that means, I mean, it is condensed formations, it's run first mentality. And as a quarterback, you might not get to display your skill set as much as you would otherwise. So how did that impact you, and what did it do for you in terms of recruiting? Was that tough?
In terms of recruiting, yeah, it was tough just because the wing T doesn't allow for receiving quarterbacks and like wide receivers them to get noticed, a bunch just because of the offense, how it is. It's a strict run heavy offense. So, it's good for
Right.
running backs in that case. But as far as recruiting, yeah, it's not good. But you get through it. You know, chance on me. I'm happy where I am now.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, how you navigated your way through that, and now how you've shown up and you're playing big time football at Washington State. Talk a little bit about that path of where you got to now at this point.
It's been a fun journey for me. I got to experience a lot of things already, and I'm only 20 years old. So, going from a 0-star recruit in high school to being one of the best quarterbacks in the FCS. With a great quarterbacks coach there, Coach Mac Lethwich, and a great head coach, Coach Eric Morris. So having those two, they're a big part of why I am here today at Washington State. So, I got to see a lot of things. Got to go from, like I said, the 0-star to being a 4-star quarterback once I entered the portal. So, I had a lot of coaches, hitting my line, hitting my dad and mom's line. So they even called my mom at school, some coaches. So it got kind of crazy. So it was fun to live out, a recruiting process, since I
Yeah.
didn't get to do it in high school, I got to do it in college. So, it's been a fun experience. And, I know I made a great decision by coming here.
Yeah, talking about like just that transformation in life and everything like that. You probably went from playing in front of like say a few hundred people, maybe 1,000, to now you're playing in front of 80,000 people every week. What's that transition been like?
It's been easy. To me, I really don't hear the crowd a lot. Majority of the
Mhm.
game. Once I get into the bigger stadiums, I can really only hear it on third down. Third down gets
Right.
pretty loud in here, but we clap for our cadence, so it's easy to
Yeah.
hear. We don't really have to change our cadence at all. So it's a fun being able to come from playing in front of a couple thousand people to playing in front of packed stadium. It's fun for me. It's something that I wanted to do, coming out of high school, but I took a different route and I'm finally here. So, it's been a fun experience for me and I'm just looking forward to many more.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at it like after your first game against Wisconsin, a victory 17-14, it had to be an emotional moment. And there was a moment where after the game went up, you gave a big hug to your dad. And those are the moments that you really remember. Can you walk us through what emotionally you were going through? And also, can you share a little bit about what was said between you and your father in that huge moment?
That was a big accomplishment for me. My first Power Five game. Because it's
Mhm.
hard to go into Madison, win a game versus them there. I would say one of the key colleges in college football. They're a big time program. So being able to go there and beat Wisconsin, I didn't really have it on my I would say calendar to do, but it was a big accomplishment, and it let me know that I can play at the highest level of college football, and then just being able to enjoy that moment with my family. Me hugging my
Yeah.
dad, telling me that he loved me, that he's proud of me. That was just a big thing, and that's just something that I really need to hear.
Man, that's a special moment, and I'm telling you, cherish those moments because you'll always remember that, man. And it's special, and it seems like to me that you're pretty close with your family. You've got your father, your mother, your sister. Talk about the importance of them being there for you and just having your back and the support factor that brings to you as a player.
It means a lot. My mom and dad, and my sister, they come to every game. Where no matter where I play, they'll travel across the world to see me play. So that's kind
That's
of
cool.
reason why I like to play football, just to see to see them smile, whether I throw 5 touchdowns in the game or I throw 5 picks. So, they just truly like to see me, play football. They like to see me succeed. So, anytime I can put a smile on their face just by doing that, it kind of, brings me back down to, my family. They just always got my back no matter what.
I love it. And I heard that your sister also was a shot putter in college. And I also heard a rumor that she's got more Instagram followers than you. How's that even happen? Come on, bro.
Man, you gotta stay down until you come up. That's all I can say.
I hear you. I hear you. So
Mhm.
your mom was also a high school basketball coach, and then I also heard that you coached youth basketball while you were in high school. Now, were you a multi-sport athlete? Was basketball something that you ever considered? Like, where were you in terms of that spectrum of, did you play a lot of sports, or was football always your primary love?
Football, majority of my primary love. But growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I played baseball, basketball, football. Those were my three. I also did track and field. Did track. Yeah, but I love playing baseball. That's one of my. I stopped playing baseball once I got to high school. Just I did a lot of travel AAU basketball. So really, basketball and football. Those were my main sports in high school, I
Yeah.
would say. But I love the basketball. I love playing basketball, the competition that it brings, and football. It's just something about football that brings that excitement out of me. So it's football love for real.
I love it. I wish I could play basketball, man. That's one sport that God never blessed me with the talent to do. But at the same day, I'm working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm 40 years old, so go figure. But this isn't about me. It's about you. So let's talk a
I
little
still
bit
got
about playing. That's right. Let's talk a little bit about playing, man. Your teammates describe you. They describe you as Houdini and the magician. Like, when you look at yourself, who do you look out in the league or your peers that you would like to model yourself to as a player?
I like to watch Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. I like to watch both of them just because they both play two different ways. I would say, Aaron Rodgers deep ball
Mm-hmm.
is the best deep ball in the NFL. Without a doubt. The way he can maneuver around the pocket and just always throwing confined spaces. I like watching him and do that. His footwork, is just crazy. Then just watching the way that Pat can win from the pocket and still be able to make crazy plays on the run, being able, to make plays in scramble drill. So I like to take, both those players. I like to take what they do out of their game, try to do, add my little twist to it. So, I love watching those two, those two, they're two great quarterbacks. I just like watching them.
Man, it's funny because when I heard Houdini, when I heard the magician, that's the immediate person I thought of was Patrick Mahomes, because I've used those same descriptive terms to describe him when I'm talking about him. And so those are good guys. But did I also hear that one of your coaches on the staff used to coach Patrick in college?
Yes, sir, Coach Morris, my offensive coordinator. He was the quarterbacks coach at Texas Tech when Pat was there.
Oh, that's cool. So you can get a little bit more in depth about your boy Patrick Mahomes. Then that's sweet. Okay, in terms of the season, all right, talk me through what was the turning point for you and what adjustments were made during the course of the season to get you to the point to where now you're taking care of the football so much better.
I would say the biggest adjustment was just knowing when and when not, to try and make a crazy play. At certain
Mm-hmm.
times, like really just like downs, like third downs, knowing whether we're in this field position, we're going to go for a fourth down, so I don't really have to force a throw. I would say so. That
Right.
was probably the biggest adjustment, and just really, I would say more on time with the receivers. Me and the receivers, we work, every day after practice, whether it's the deep ball going over the shoulder catches, or it's just just working on curl routes, timing, whatever we want to work on that day. So that was the biggest thing, just timing it with the receivers and knowing when and when not to take my shots.
Yeah, I love it, man. There's no substitute for hard work, and the way that you're approaching it and the work that you put in after practice, that's what's going to get you better each and every day. And you can already tell with your play that that's the direction that you're going. And I've watched you. You've got incredible mobility, agility. You can extend plays, get outside the pocket. But at times, like you said, it's interesting because you just kind of alluded to it with what you just said in the last comment is, sometimes you have to bottle that up, right? And understand that you got to live the fight the next day. You always hear, don't make a bad play worse. But it's always funny to me, right? For guys, it's particularly like you, because I didn't have that type of athleticism, but you can get out and you make these tremendous plays all the time. And when it goes right, the coaches are always patting you on your back. But when it goes wrong, they're like, hey, what in the world happened there? Like, I told you, you can't throw. I was like,
So, yeah. Yeah,
Right?
that's how it goes. So you
Yeah.
have to play with the bad though.
Yeah, so it was that a tough process for you learning that trait, right? If sometimes it's better to throw the ball away. Sometimes it's easier to, you know what, the play's dead, I'm going to take a sack than making something happen or, trying to extend a play that it's a dead play, but you feel like sometimes, hey, look, I've got an S on my chest, I can make this play, but sometimes you have to bottle that up. Talk to me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I feel that's the biggest thing, like you said, try to bottle it up. And I also think just I know what type of player I am. I'm never gonna change the way that I play the game of football just because I feel like that's what separates me from all the other quarterbacks in college. So just knowing, I would say like Coach Dicker, he always talks to me like I took a bad sack last week, this past game. Just that
Mhm.
took us out of field goal range. So just knowing when to extend the play. And I also feel like at certain times like I need to do that, to have a positive play on offense or feel like we need a spark on offense. So sometimes I feel like I have to do it, whether I
Right.
get the job done or not. I just know the team's always going to have my back.
I love it. All right, so a little bit more about you. I've always said this in my life. I was like, having your first dog is like having your first kid. And from what I understand, you've got a dog that's only 1 year old. How do you have a dog with all the responsibility that you have as a student athlete? You go to school. There's got to be so much time commitment to football. Like, how do you even have a dog right now? And by the way, what is the dog? What type of dog? I want to hear all about this dog.
My little man Uno, he's 6 months actually. His name Uno.
Oh,
He's a
6 months, even worse.
6 months. Yeah, he's gotten way better now, way better.
Yeah.
So he's 6 months now. He's a Rottweiler, so he's getting there. He's getting big for sure. I think last time my mom took him to the vet, it was about 3-4 weeks ago when they came here for a home game. He was
Yeah.
about, I think, 30. I mean, not 30. 65 pounds. I think the last
Oh
time he.
man.
Yeah, so I lifted him up this morning. I feel like he's about 90 now, and they're supposed to get up to like 130, 135. So he's gonna be big.
Yeah, you didn't pick one of those dogs that just fit in an apartment very comfortably. I love that about you. You know what? Take the
I
risk. Just go
I have
go
to
after
get
it.
this dog.
Yeah.
And think
Yeah.
about it. So I got him this summer. I got him when he's a puppy. So really in the summer, my classes are online, so I have more time. I would say because we
Yes.
work out in the morning. Then we'll either throw in the afternoon or just whatever days we're throwing, me and the receivers. Other than that, we have the complete rest of the day off. So it was easy to just train him in the summer. I'm at home a lot more. So I
Right.
had a potty train before the season. That's really the biggest thing with the
Oh
puppy,
yeah.
the potty training. Once you have that, it's gonna be smooth sailing from here on out. And he's just over
I
here
love
messing
it.
now.
I love it, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Cameron. Is there anything you want to ask me before we go? I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you got a lot of commitments to get to. But is there anything you want to ask me? And if not, it's totally fine as well, man.
Really, what would you say to me? Like for a 20-year-old, you've experienced
Right.
more than I have. You playing at USC, everything that you went to playing with Tom Brady. What advice would you have for me, as I get older in my journey?
That's a great question, man. And I always tell a lot of the young guys that I come across and cross paths with that embrace the process. And by that, I mean, have intent every time you go out on that football field. And it's the intent to get better. And you know what? You make a ton of strides, usually physically in the offseason, do all that. But there's little things that you can do on a daily basis that you can go out and make a commitment to yourself that, hey, I want to improve in this little area. And it's that, like you said, it's throwing the go route, right? The go route's one of the hardest routes to get. It's the timing on the post routes, the slant routes, those kind of things. But having intent every day in practice, because when you have more success like you've had, it's easy to get complacent. It's easy to get comfortable. And comfort is not your friend at this position because you've always got to strive to be better each and every week. And I think the way in which you manage that is having intent and having purpose on a daily basis and embracing that process, man, because it's always a process. You're always learning. And so I'd say you're off to an incredible start. And I'll tell you this, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep working the way that you're working because you're a tremendous player. And I can't wait to see where it takes you in the future. But I wish you all the best the rest of the season and into the deep, deep future because I know you're going to be playing a lot of football and a lot of eyes are going to be on you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I needed that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There we have it. Everybody, that's us from the 33rd team. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.